dear students. I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So, in this lecture series of this environmental science subject, we are here at the discussion of the basic terminology and definition related with the module 2, that is natural resources. So, let's start this discussion with the basics of basics terminology associated with this topic, that is natural resource. So first of all, we'll discuss about the natural resources. Means what is natural resources? Because this is a very common thing. If a person will study about this subject, is going to study about this module number 2. First of all, the thing came in the mind is that what is natural resources? Which resource we can call as natural? Means those resources that will get directly from the earth, directly present on the earth in the form of a raw material, is called as natural resources. So we can define natural resource as like natural resource as those useful raw material that we get from the earth. They occur naturally, with that means that human cannot make natural resources. Instead, we use and modify natural resource in a way that are beneficial to us. So this is a very common, very basic understanding about this natural resource. Means those resources that are available on the earth as a raw material freely in a freely way. So this is called as natural resources, and it occur naturally, which means that human being cannot make natural resources. It is present on the earth naturally, like forest, sunlight will get, soil and everything. That is a natural resource which is present on the earth, and we cannot use it or we cannot modify this natural resource in the way that are beneficial to us. Only what we can do, we can use it and we can modify it according to our need, according to our purpose. Then we will utilize this natural resources. But first of all, if we will define the basic of this natural resources, means those resources that are available on the earth as a raw material in a freely is called as natural resources, and that material will get from the earth is called as natural resources. Next thing about this natural resources is that what are the different types of natural resources? So natural resources is categorized into two types, that is renewable and non-renewable. Renewable and non-renewable. So natural resource NR is of two types, renewable, non-renewable. As the names means that renewable means those natural resources we can utilize again and again. As the names mean renew, we can renew it again and again. And then non-renewable is we cannot renew it, and we will use it only once a time. So the example for this non-renewable natural resources are the water, air, sun, that is already present in the on this earth. We can use it many times, and it is of plenty of amount of these resources are available on the earth, and they are pollution free also, and they are also called as conventional, non-conventional sources of energy, because these are those energy which we cannot using from the ancient period. Nowadays, due to the more R&D, more research, people are getting towards the understanding about the values of using renewable natural resources, because non-renewable natural resources are the fossil fuel that are available on the earth in some amount. So after some time it will be going to be over. So after that, what we'll do? That's why we should find some alternative way for these resources, because we have to conserve or protect our resources for the future generation also. That's why the shifting towards the use of renewable energy, renewable natural resources is very important, because if we'll shift toward the renewable energy resources like sunlight is always available, it is pollution free also, eco-friendly, it is available in plenty of amount, and it can be easily available. And when we'll think about this non-renewable energy resources, that is fossil fuel, coal, petroleum, and fuel gases, these are present in some amount, and one day it is going to be over, it will be vanished, then it will cause some pollution also. That's why there are many drawbacks related to these non-renewable energy resources. And this non-renewable energy resources is called as conventional energy resource also. Conventional means traditional energy resources. Traditionally, we are using these kind of resources, and these will produce more pollution, more smoke, that is not eco-friendly also. So these are those resources that we are using from many times. These are called as non-renewable resources, and renewable resources are those resources that are either available freely, or it can be replaced or recovered in a reasonable amount of time, is called as water, air and sun. These are the natural resources. And coal is also coming under non-renewable energy resources, because coal we cannot renew it in a given span of time. We cannot renew coal in a human lifespan. That's why we cannot consider under the category of renewable natural resources. It is also a non-renewable natural resources. So now comes to the next topic, next thing, that what is exhaustible natural resources. Again, the thing is coming, exhaustible natural resources are those sources of energy that will deplete and exhaust after a few hundred years. For example, coal, petroleum, diesel, and all the fossil fuel are exhaustible natural resources. Means those resources that will be exhausted after some years, and that are called as exhaustible natural resources. And those source of energy that will deplete or will exhaust after some years, and its example is coal, petroleum, diesel and all other fossil fuels that are exhaustible natural resources, and this is called as exhaustible natural resources. Exhaustible, we can call it by exhaustible, non-renewable, and next is conventional also. So all we can understand it by many names. Exhaustible means it will be exhaust, or it will be deplete after some time, after some year, and its example is coal, petroleum, diesel and all different fossil fuels that are exhaustible natural resource. We call it as exhaustible. We can also call them as non-renewable energy resource. We can also call it as a conventional energy resources. Means all these are the same things, that only the terminology is different. So in examination, it can be asked in many ways. Sometimes it will be asked as like, what are the traditional natural resources? The same thing is there. Exhaustible, which natural resources are called as exhaustible natural resource? So we can say that coal, petroleum, diesels, all are the exhaustible natural resources, because it will be exhaust after some time. Next question is about non-renewable natural resources. Non-renewable energy resources are that cannot be replenished once they have been depleted. And this example is again fossil fuel and mineral. So this is a basic terminology that has been associated with this natural resource topic. First is, what is natural resource? Means those resources that are available on this earth freely. Any human being can utilize it, or they can utilize or modify it according to their need, but it is available naturally on the earth, and its example is forest, firewood, sun, soil and everything. And these natural resources is divided into two categories. First one is renewable and second one is non-renewable. Renewable means those resources that we can replenish, we can renew it after some time. That's why, and this renewable energy resources is pollution free, and that are not traditional based energy resources. And the example for this renewable energy resources are sun, air, water, light. All these are renewable energy resources. It cannot be, it can be renewed in a normal human lifespan. It can be renewed in any times. And next point is non-renewable energy resources. So non-renewable natural resources, exhaustible natural resources, conventional natural resources, all are same. And its example is fossil fuel and mineral. Means the name is different, only the name is different, but the thing is different, because all are same. Means those are resources that are non-renewable, those resources that can be exhaust after some time, that's called as exhaustible natural resources. Non-renewable natural resources. And conventional natural resources means those resources that we are using from traditional, from ancient period. That's why it is also called as conventional source of energy. Sometimes it's a traditional source of energy also. So all terms are same, and meanings are same, only the terms name is changed. So don't confuse in between them. And it's an example for this exhaustible non-renewable is again coal, petroleum, fossil fuels, because these kind of resources we cannot utilize, we cannot renew in a span of time, or we cannot utilize is again and again. Now comes to the next definition about define the term surface water. After this resources, water is again a resource. Water is a renewable resources. That's why let's comes to the next definition about the surface water. So the water coming through precipitation, when does not percolate down into the ground or does not return to the atmosphere and in the form of evaporation or transpiration loss, is called as surface water. Means those water that will be coming through the process of precipitation, and it will not return back to the atmosphere in the form of evaporation or transpiration, or it will not percolate down to the groundwater. Means those water that is present on the surface water, and its example is river water. River water. Surface water example is river water. Means water, that is the water coming through precipitation, means the water coming with the precipitation or with the rain, and it does not percolate down into ground. It will not percolate it, or it will not enter into the groundwater, and it does not return to the atmosphere also. As evaporation and transpiration loss, it is known as surface water. So this is the definition about the surface water. With surface water coming through precipitation, when does not percolate down into the ground or does not, means those water that will flow on the surface. Example is river water. River is flowing on the surface. It will not percolated into the groundwater, or it will be not evaporated into the transpiration loss of this water. That's why it is called as surface water. Now comes to the next terminology related with this subject, that is define the term water logging. Water logging. So it's we can define water logging as the accumulation of water underground, and gradually it form a continuous column with water travel. Means what will happen? Water logging condition is there, means like a percolation of accumulation of water through surface into the groundwater, and then that column will connect to the water table like the groundwater of particular area. So this is called as water logging. Water logging is there, means water continuous runoff is there, accumulation of water underground. Water will go underground continuously, accumulation of water continuously, it will go inside the groundwater, and then automatically this is called as, this will form a continuous column with the water table. This is called as water logging. That is means that surface water directly into surface water, or water from rain runoff will directly enters into the water table, directly enter into the groundwater, is called as, this is the term related with the water logging. Means water logging is there. Next thing related with this natural resource is the minerals. They give the definition of the mineral. Mineral are those substances that are naturally occurring and inorganic crystalline solid having a definite chemical composition and characteristics of physical properties. So this is a definition of minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring inorganic crystalline solid, those materials that are naturally occurring inorganic in nature, crystalline solid, that are having a definite chemical composition and characteristics physical property, is called as mineral. Mineral are substances that are naturally occurring, means this is also a natural resource, and it is inorganic in nature and crystalline solids. They are crystalline solid, and they are having a definite fixed chemical composition and some characteristics of physical properties. That kind of substance is called as minerals. Next definition is related with the subject, that is soil erosion. Define the term erosion, soil erosion. Soil erosion is a very important term that is related with the natural resource, because soil is also a natural resource. So that soil erosion, we can define it as the movement of soil component, specifically the surface litter and top fertile soil from one place to another place. Means what will happen on the top surface of the soil? Soil is there, soil surface, due to air, water, there is a displacement of this top layer of soil, is called as soil erosion. And this surface litter and top fertile soil, this top layer of soil is basically a fertile soil, and due to the rain activity, due to air, because due to lack of some plantation, soil will not bound into a place, and with a normal rain, normal air will throughout the soil from one movement to one place to another place, and that is because of the surface litter, and that will lose the fertility of a soil. So this soil erosion is a very bad condition related to any soil, because soil erosion will cause erode of the topmost layer of the soil, and topmost layer is the fertile soil of any area. That's why, due to the lack of tree, due to the loss of less vegetation, compaction and the bulk density of soil has been reduced. That's why any easily rain can remove out the top layer of the soil, and this removal will cause the loss of fertility of the soil, and that will make the soil less fertile. So this is the definition about the soil erosion. Soil erosion, we can define it as a movement of soil component, specifically surface litter. Surface litter is a very important, litter are the very important fertile, because litter will going to decompose, and with the decomposition the manure will be added in the soil, and this manure will make the soil fertile. So it is a movement of soil components, like soil surface litters, top fertile soil from one place to another place is called as soil erosion. Now, next thing related with the sheet erosion. The next thing terminology related with this erosion is the sheet erosion. Means those erosion that occur fairly evenly over an area. Means sometimes a raindrop, it will fall on the soil surface, and the soil's surface water runoff can transport top soil in a uniform fashion, almost like a bedsheet sliding off a bed. Like that, uniformly it will be going to removed from the top of the area, like a bedsheet has been removed, sliding off of a bed. This is about the sheet erosion. Erosion that will occur fairly evenly over an area, and like some raindrop, if some raindrop will fallen on the soil, the surface water runoff can transport topsoil in a uniform fashion, almost like a bedsheet lining of a bed. And here again, next definition is the mineral. Minerals are the terms that are the substances that are naturally occurring inorganic crystalline solid that will having a definite chemical composition and characteristics physical properties. This is about the terms related with the mineral. Next definition related with the soil erosion is the real erosion. Define the term real erosion. Real erosion is the erosion that results in a small, short-lived and well-defined stream. When rainfall does not soak into the soil, it can gather on the surface and run downhill, forming a small channel of water called reels. Reel erosion is a type of soil erosion. First one, soil erosion is of many types, but first one is the sheet erosion. Sheet erosion is a fairly evenly over an area. Erosion of soil that occur fairly or evenly over one area. Like that, next is a real erosion. Real erosion is that erosion that results in a small, short-lived and well-defined stream. When some stream will be formed like this reel will be formed, that is called as reel. On the surface of the soil is there. Then that is called streams will be formed. That's why it is called a reel. And when drop does not soak into the soil, it can gather on the surface and run downhill. Due to rainfall will fall on the top layer of the soil, it cannot be accumulated, it cannot be gathered at one place, so that rainfall does not soak into, it can be gathered on the surface and it will run downhill, and that will be forming a small channel on the soil. That's why this is called as real erosion. So this is just imagine this is the top layer of soil. What will happen? Raindrop will form, and this raindrop will causes the does not soak into the soil, so it can be gathered on the surface and it will be run downhill like that. So it will be running down, then a kind of channel will be formed. This channel will be formed like this. You can see that a channel will be formed, and that's why this kind of erosion we can call it as a real erosion. Small channel will be formed, that is called as real erosion. So this is about the real erosion. Next thing related with this topic is the define flood. What is flood? Definition of flood is very important. It will asking many times in examination. So we can define flood as an overflow of water wherever the magnitude of water flow exceeds the carrying capacity of channel within its banks is called as flood. So an overflow of water, whenever the magnitude of water flows exceeds the carrying capacity of channel, means river channel, when its bank is called as flow. What will happen? The overflow of water in any river, whenever the magnitude of water flow exceeds with the carrying capacity of the channel. Carrying capacity means the total capacity, the ability of that particular river to carry a water. If it will be more than, if the water amount is more than, overflow of water is more than that river property, that river is called as flood. This is called as flood. Next term related with this subject is the define subsidence of land. Land subsidence. Land subsidence is a very important term related with this natural resources. What will happen in lands and subsidence? Subsidence is a gradual settling or sudden sinking of earth's surface due to removal of topsoil or displacement of subsurface earth material. What will happen? It is the sudden sinking of earth's surface due to the removal of topsoil, or due to the mining activity. Main reason for this land subsidence is mining activity. It is the gradual settling or sometimes a sudden sinking of earth's surface due to the displacement of subsurface or due to the mining activity. But what will happen? Mining activity will happen inside the earth's surface, and that mine will be, and automatically due to this the land will be collapsed into the mining area. This is about the land subsidence. Next point is about the landslide. What is landslide? Landslide is a gravitational movement of a mass of rock. Means a gravitational, what will happen? On a surface is there, a road is there. So what will happen? Some mass of earth, mass of rock will fall down on the earth, on the road. Mass of rock will fall down on the road, and due to this mass of rock or sometimes earth, that will come on the, in the form of debris, down a slope, that will make a slope, and this is like a moment of mass, and due to earth gravitational force, automatically it will come down on the road and it will be stopped on this road, and that is called as landslide. This is called as landslide. Means the gravitational movement of a mass of rock, earth, or debris down a slope is called as landslide. Landslide is a gravitational movement of a mass of rock, earth, or debris down into a slope is a landslide. Now comes to the next thing about this topic. We are going to discuss about the biogas. Now the next terminology related with this natural resource is the, what is biogas? What do you mean by biogas? Many questions will ask in examination like, what is biogas? So biogas is a mixture of gases like methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide that will be produced from raw material like agriculture waste, manures, municipal waste, plant materials, sewage, green waste and food waste. Biogas is a mixture of some gas like and dominantly is the CH4, that is methane. Is a mixture of gases like methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide, CO2, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. These are the four mixture of the gases is called as biogas, and this biogas will be produced from the raw materials like some agriculture waste is there. That raw material will coming from the agriculture waste, then manures, municipal waste, sometimes some municipal waste is there, and plant material, sewage is there, green waste and food waste. With the means the production of energy, the production of gas by the use of some raw material like agriculture waste, manure, municipal waste, plant material, sewage, green waste and food waste is called as biogas. Biogas is a mixture of methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide that will be produced from raw materials like agriculture waste, manure, municipal waste, plant material, sewage, green waste and food waste. So this is like a biogas. This is called as a biogas. It is a mixture of methanes, of mixture of some gases that we can obtain from the use of some agriculture waste, manure, municipal waste, plant material, sewage, green waste and food waste. So it is a very common question that will ask in the examination, and the basic terminology related with the biogas. Sometimes it will be asked like that, what is the mixture of the biogas? Which gas will form biogas? So mainly four dominant gases there, that is methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and hydrogen. These four are the main dominantly gas of this biogas, and it is a mixture of the gases of these four gas. Sometimes they will ask about the main basic composition of this biogas. So you can say that four gases there: methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and hydrogen sulfide. And it will be formed by the use of some raw materials like some agriculture waste, manures is there, municipal waste is there, plant material, sewage, green waste, food waste. With the use of these food waste, the gas we will obtain is called as biogas. Biogas is a very renewable sources of energy. We can count it in the form of renewable sources of energy. Then again definition is there, that is biomass energy. What is define the term biomass energy? So the energy produced by burning of organic matter is called as biomass energy. Examples are wood and wood residue, energy crops, agriculture residue, waste from industry, farms, and household. So what will happen? Energy that is producing by burning of some organic metals is called as biomass energy, and its example is the wood and wood residue. Wood is burned to produce energy is called as biomass energy. Wood is there, wood residue is there, some energy crop is there. Energy crop by the burning of energy crop, by the use of agriculture residue. Agriculture residue will also be we can use for the biomass energy, and waste from some industry, some farms and household are the examples of this biomass energy. Now next thing related with this subject is the define the term overgrazing. Overgrazing is a grazing by livestock or wildlife to the point where the biomass, where the grass cover is depleted, and this will leave a barren land and unprotected patches of soil. This overgrazing is very much harmful for the land resources, and this overgrazing, sometimes called soil erosion, causes soil erosion. So what is the effect of overgrazing? Sometimes they'll ask question like that: what is the effect of overgrazing? So it will leave a bare patches on the earth, on the soil material, and it will form a unprotected patches of soil, and this will causes the loss of fertility of soil. This will causes the top layer erosion of top layer of soil. Soil erosion is there, all due to because of this overgrazing. The next term associated with this subject, this topic, is the define nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is again a non-renewable source of energy. Sometimes it can be considered under the renewable source of energy also. So what will happen in the process of nuclear fission? Nuclear fission is the splitting of nuclei into the bombardment by neutrons, and large amount of energy is released through some chain reaction. So this is what will happen. We can define nuclear fission is as the nuclear change in which nucleus of a certain isotope with large mass number is split into a light nuclei on bombardment by neutron, and large amount of energy is released through the chain reaction. So what will happen? Some little bit large amount of nuclei is there, and that will be split into different atoms, and this will be called as nuclear fission. Means the bombardment of neutrons by a large amount of energy, and we can use it for energy purpose. We can use it as a in the non-renewable source of energy. So it is a nuclear change in which nucleus of different isotope with large mass number is split into lighter nuclei on bombardment by neutrons, and large amount of energy is released through the chain reaction. Next term is nuclear fusion. Fusion is a break and bombardment of neutron, and fusion is the fusion of two atom nuclei are combined, and from one or more different atomic nuclei is called as subatomic particles. Nuclear fission is a reaction in which two or more atomic nuclei are combined from one or more different atomic nuclei or some subatomic particles is called as nuclear fusion. And next definition is what is drought. Drought is the scarcity of water. Drought occurs due to inadequate rainfall, late arrival of rains, overutilization of groundwater. Means late arrival of rain and overutilization of groundwater for the irrigation purpose. A drought can be defined as a period of abnormally dry weather and sufficiently prolonged for a lack of water to cause a serious hydrological imbalance in the affected area is called as drought. Drought is the scarcity of water, but it is a period of abnormally dry weather is there. That's why rain will not come and sufficient. That's why the dry weather is there. That's why the transpiration rate is also high, and that will causes that will the soil moisture and the groundwater will also evapotranspirate into the clouds, but rain will not come, and the lack of water is there, and this is a very serious hydrological imbalance in the affected area. This is called as drought. So it is we can define it if we'll understand in a basic term, like it is a scarcity of water, and it will occur due to inadequate amount of rainfall or sometimes late arrival of rain and overutilization of groundwater for the irrigation purpose, or whatever the purpose means overutilization of groundwater. If groundwater is also not there and transpiration is also there, and it will be evaporate to the earth, and dry weather condition is there and no amount of water is there, then this kind of condition we can see it as a drought. And it is a period of abnormally dry weather sufficiently prolonged for a lack of water to cause serious hydrological imbalance in the affected area is called as drought. Now comes to the next definition, that is related with the solar cell. Solar cell are, what is solar cell? How can we define the solar cell? So solar cell are made of thin wafers of semiconductor material like silicon and gallium. Solar cell are the devices that use the photovoltaic effect to convert the energy of sunlight directly into the electricity, producing electrical charges that can move freely in semiconductor. What will happen in the solar cell? Solar cell, one solar panel is there, and it is a conductor like silicon and gallium is there, and gallium is there, silicon and gallium is there, and it is that device will convert the sunlight into electricity. And what will happen when sunlight will fall on these conductors, the particles will be automatically charged, and this effect is called as photovoltaic effect. And that with the that photovoltaic effect will convert energy into the light directly into the electricity. Then we can use this solar energy for the electricity purpose. This is called, that's why this solar cell is there. First of all, to utilizes this solar energy for the electricity purpose, solar cell will be installed on every roof of a building, so that solar cell will convert this sunlight into the electricity with the use of some solar cell. And some, when the sunlight will fall on the surfaces, that will be particle will be charged due to the photovoltaic effects. This effect will cause the conversion of that solar light into the electricity, and this producing electrical charge that can be moved freely in semiconductors. In these semiconductors, that will produce some electrical charge, and that can be moved freely in semiconductor. Next definition related with this is what is wind farm. A wind farm is there, sometimes wind park. Wind park, we can also say that it is all related with the wind energy, and it also called as wind power station or sometimes wind power plant. It's a group of wind turbines in the same location that we can use for electricity purpose is called as wind farm. Wind farm, many names are there for this wind farm. Wind park is there, wind power station, wind power plant or wind farm is there, and it is a group of wind turbines, means many wind turbines are there that will present in the same location to harness the wind energy and utilizes this wind energy for the electricity purpose. That's why this is called as wind farm. Wind farm is a very large space, up to a very large space. Many wind turbines are there, and that wind turbine will harness the wind energy and then convert it into the electrical energy. This is about the wind farm. And wind farm, we can call it by many names: wind park, or wind power station, wind power plant. And this is the group of wind turbines that are already present on that area, and that will convert the wind energy into a electricity. Next is what is solar energy. Again, the solar energy is there. Solar energy is a radiant light and heat from the sun that is harnessed using a range of technology. Means solar energy is that of that energy, that is sunlight, that is heat from the sun, that is harnessed using a range of technology. Means many technology is used to utilizes this to utilize this sun energy for the electricity purpose. So that is called as solar energy, like solar power to create electricity. This is about the solar energy. Now, next definition related with this subject is the fossil fuel. As we have already discussed about the fossil fuel. Fossil fuel are the, what are the fossil fuel that are commonly used? So, the example for fossil fuels are the coal, petroleum and natural gases. These are the traditional sources of energy that we are using from ancient period. So, this is the example for the fossil fuel. Next thing is the, what are the primary sources of energy? Means what is the primarily, means that sources of energy that is available primarily to us, and the primary sources can be used directly as they appear in the natural environment. And the example for this natural primary source of energy is the coal, natural gas, wood, nuclear fuels is there, like uranium, sun, wind, tide, mountain, lakes and rivers. These are the primary source of energy, means that sources of energy that we can utilize energy directly, and it cannot be modified or it cannot be changed into another form, means that sources of energy. And again, that is secondary source of energy. Secondary source of energy as those form of energy that must be produced by conversion of primary source. Secondary energy comes from transforming primary energy, including things like gasoline and liquid fuels, refined biofuels, electricity, hydrogen and heat. Means secondary sources of energy, we cannot use that energy source directly, and that can be those form that must be produced by conversion of primary sources. Means that to get a secondary source of energy, some conversion of primary source of energy is important. Secondary energy come from transforming primary energy, and this will include gasoline and liquid fuel, refined biofuel. See, as for example, when we will discuss about the electricity. Electricity is the secondary source of energy. Secondary source of energy. If we will, sunlight is the primary source of energy, and we'll use sunlight to produce electricity. That's why if we're talking about only sunlight, this is the primary source, means that we are using directly. If we are using that sunlight directly, it is called as primary source of energy, means those sources of energy that we are using directly. And then with the use of that primary source of energy, second electricity will produce with the involvement of primary source of energy, that is called a secondary source of energy. And transforming, that will come from transforming primary energy, is called a secondary source of energy. And the example for the secondary source of energy is the electricity that we are using, then hydrogen. All these are the secondary source of energy that will get by the transformation of primary source of energy in primary source of energy, means that will not get directly. Electricity will not get directly from the nature, will get electricity by use of coal. Sometime in India, most predominantly thermal power plant is there, and thermal power plant is using coal. So we'll get electricity by thermal power plant, and the coal is used. So the coal, we can say it is at the primary source of energy, that is first source of energy, and then we'll convert this coal and then we'll get electricity. So that electricity is example of secondary source of energy. And now comes to the next definition, that is about the coal. Means how coal is formed. Coal is formed when dead plant matter submerged into a swamp environment is subjected to a geological force with a many geological force of heat and pressure over hundred and millions of years, then coal will be formed. This will be the formation of coal. Coal is formed by the dead plant and plant matter that submerged into the swamp environment, and it is subjected to the geological forces of heat and pressure over hundred and millions of years. And write the formation of coal. Sometimes it will be asked like that, what is the process of formation of coal? So coal was formed 255 to 350 million years ago in a hot, damp region of the earth during the Carboniferous age. Means what will happen? Coal will be formed by the conversion of that plant dead material in a hundred and millions of years, and due to the force of heat that is present in the beneath the earth's surface and the pressure that will be causes the formation of coal. And what are the different types of coal? There are 4 different types of coal. That is, first one is the anthracite coal, bituminous, subbituminous and lignite. All these 4 type of coal are the coal that has present in the India, that has formed in the India. Anthracite is the top quality coal that will be that you can say, and lignite is a low quality based coal that can be formed in our in everywhere. So this is about the coal formation and how many year it will take. It will take up to 255 to 355 million year ago in a very hot damp region of the earth, and it can be formed from many carboniferous age. And coal is formed when dead plant matter submerged in a swamp environment is subjected to a geological force. When a geological force will come and of heat and pressure over hundreds of millions of years. This is about the formation of coal and the types of coal. Thank you for today's class.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.